Welcome to the Double Wide, everybody. We moved Stevie D and his rowdy ass friends from Saturday night because I thought the quarantine was wrapping up. I said people aren't going to be sitting their ass home on a Saturday night. So let's do like a quarantine hump night. And people are stressing out watching the news, and I'm all about the Keith Partridge haircut. So I'm like, come on, get happy hour. I'm a friggin' hillbilly genius. Look at that. Because I wake up every morning, my Keith Partridge haircut, and go, I think I love you. What am I so afraid of? One of my oldest jokes, by the way, right there. My opening for the last 5 years. But anyway, so we're kicking it off the very first night. My homie, which produces all of my stuff for 20 plus years, Judi Sketch Lewinson. She is a genius, rapper, poet, producer, artist, all the stuff you always see of me in the background, like right there. She did all of this stuff. So she's been my homie for many, many years. She was on the ones and twos when I had a show at the Laugh Factory on Thursday nights. And she's always got my back. So she's more of a technical, creative genius than I am. So we partnered up on this YouTube Zoom thing. And so this is my very first Zoom show. So I'm sure there's going to be mistakes. Hopefully she can fix it in the mix. Speaking of mix, I'm sitting here playing some mix from Stevie D on the Wheels of Steel back in the day. In the double wide. Got my quarantine kicking right here. We got two kick-ass cats, two of my homies from back in the day. Funny lady. She's the best. She likes to rock. And she doesn't know every show we have a drinking word. So I thought the drinking word tonight should be rock star. She's a badass rock star. She loves rock stars. We were at one of the last, maybe the last show at the Staples Center before the lockdown. I don't know. But everybody, I can see her. I don't think you can see her yet because Sketch is going to fix it in the mix. But give it up for funny lady, writer, producer, and rock star, Courtney Cronin-Dold.
Hi.
I called you Courtney Cronin for only like 20 years, and then you flipped the switch on me. And
I flipped it 10 years ago. I've been married 10 years, and it's funny that no one, still doesn't know my married name. They still call me Courtney, which is fine. Because it kind of goes together. Courtney Cronin, it goes together.
Courtney Cronin.
Yeah.
Courtney Cronin. I told you when we did the last show we did together, it's so hard for me to say Courtney Cronin-Dold. And plus I'm from Kentucky. We don't pronounce the L's. So I say Courtney Cronin-Dold.
Dode. I've been called dude, dode, Dodd.
You're like Courtney Cronin just fine. I had your homie Trish Stir on a couple weeks ago.
Trish was on the show. No way. Does she have spare fingers? She has spare fingers.
Yeah.
Trish Omblesky and I have been talking like Trish to Trish forever. And I've known Trish a long time. 23 years. I've known Trish.
Stories on Trish, huh?
She's a great person. She's hilarious. She can fix anything.
She's from Kentucky?
Yeah, she's from Kentucky. She's from Kentucky.
Did you know her mom was Miss Kentucky?
Her mom was what?
Miss Kentucky.
I knew she was a beauty queen. I didn't know she was Miss Kentucky. Oh, okay. I knew she was a beauty pageant. That's why she'd wear her hair, jacket to Jesus. That's what Trish always say.
Bigger the hair, the closer to the Lord.
Closer to the Lord. I love you, Trish. You probably won't see this, but if you do, I love you.
We love you, Trish. My mom just came out from Kentucky 2 weeks ago, and she don't trust those airplanes, those big things flying up in the sky. Could just fall out of the sky at any moment.
They could just fall
down. She came out.
down.
My sister escorted her to get her to come out. And my kids were just cracking up because all their little cousins in Kentucky, everybody has the accent, like that. And then I guess mine kind of evolved. I don't know. Probably was walking like the evolution of man, and now I'm a little bit upright. But my mom would say, Holly Mae, that's my sister, Holly Mae's in there thinking she's beautifying herself. She don't know it ain't working.
Beautifying.
Like, Mom, so mean to Aunt Holly. I go, no, that's how we just, we bust each other's chops back there.
I'm beautifying myself. Then I put on glasses and big old Princess Leia headphones, so it doesn't make a difference. I could have dunked my head in the toilet. I'm beautified.
I had to blow dry for the show. Blow dry just for you.
I know you take longer to do your hair than me.
Thank you, dear. Where did you come out here from?
Well, we moved here when I was 11. We lived in Boston and then Detroit for a while because my dad worked for Chrysler. And then we moved from there to here when I was 11. So I actually went to high school here. I went to high school in Palos Verdes for just 1 year. And then I went the rest of my high school in West Hollywood. And I went to high school right off the Sunset Strip, just a block away from the old Tower Records. And I used to walk up and down there. And we used to go to like sound checks because that was after school. And you could go like listen to sound checks, you know, just hang around the back and hang out. It was fun. And, you know, we didn't know who we were listening to, but it was still fun. I mean, you know, the names are out front, but, you know, we didn't know who a lot of the bands were. And then you see these names and then like 3 years later, they're all on MTV, you know, it was kind of crazy.
Who did you see? Did you remember anybody that you saw during sound check and you saw them blow up?
No, we didn't get to see anything. We would just listen. They wouldn't let us in because I was 15 and 16. We couldn't get in. But we used to just kind of hang around and be like, can we come in? And we called it rehearsal. We didn't know it was called sound check. Be like, can we come in and listen to rehearsal? And they're like, no, you're too young.
You're like jukebox hero, the song with your ear to the wall.
I know. It's too bad some of our comrades weren't there because at 15 they'd be like, come on in, girls. Woo! No, I'm kidding.
You're just right.
Huh?
I was just thinking the other day how many perverted songs are about girls that are 16 or you know, the Beatles, she was only 17. I'm like, these guys are pretty sick. It was like Epstein.
She's only Epstein 17. And Epstein 17 is 12. But, you know, it's like 40's the new 30 kind of. With him, it was like, ugh. But yeah. It's a good thing we only asked like nice guys. Huh? What'd you say?
Kip Winger had it. She was only 17 or something like that.
17. I love that song. Yeah, but Kip Winger's perfect. Kip Winger is perfect. He can do no wrong. And I've never heard one bad thing about that guy. And he still looks great. And he sounds amazing. He still sounds great. He sounds the same.
You're going to dig this if I can find it real quick. My buddy Mark Holt is singing with this super group now called Scrap Metal.
Oh, cool.
They come out to play. I'll take you to see them. But it's Nelson and Lita Ford, Kip Winger.
Oh, I would so go see that. Is that Mark Slaughter in the background?
We'll bring this. So they're called Scrap Metal.
Oh, cool. Who's in it?
So
who else is in
Nelson, but this is a crazy story. So my buddy Mark was one of my groomsmen. I've known him for like 30 years in the mill.
Uh-huh.
Let's fix this later. But Mark always dreamed of being a rock star, like we did or whatever. And then he went on. He had a couple kids, so he had an advertising agency. So then he just had a little cover band on the weekend from Memphis. And his daughter would come out. They would fly her out during pilot season. And she was from Memphis, Tennessee, and had an accent. And she came out and she bull up, Olivia Holt. So now she's a big star. She's a big business star.
Sorry,
and so then Mark just got this opportunity to sing with Scrap Metal. Like he was singing at some benefit concert in Memphis. Nelson was there. And someone else heard him like, dude. So I'm like, that's totally the Rockstar movie story.
That is awesome. Yeah, it's like in the movie Rockstar. And then that singer, Miles Kennedy.
And who else was it that? Oh, the singer of Journey also. Like, found him on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. I've seen Journey a few times with him. He's fantastic.
Badass. I hate to admit it. Even though he says don't stop bereaving, because he's Filipino. Hold on. Courtney have sound effects. Spared no expense.
You know what? No one ever laughs at my Journey joke. It depends on who's in the room. And the only time it got a laugh was when their tour manager was in the audience. And I said, I just saw Journey because we were in Nashville. And I said, I just saw Journey and Def Leppard. And I love Journey because I love Journey fans.
because they're such cool, fun people. Because there was this, at the show, there was this little girl, and she was so cute, and she knew all the words because she's the lead singer. And then everybody got like mad. And then I just go, he knows has feminine features. He's soft looking. He's pretty.
I love it.
Yep. But like no one gets it.
Speaking of your rock and roll show, Courtney produces a badass show on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Punchlines and Backlines.
Mm-hmm. Punchlines and Backlines. Yeah, you did. You did like one of the first ones. You know what? We have a tough time getting an audience in there. Like the first show, we had Jason Christopher from Prong, and he plays also in Corey Taylor's band. He's an incredible musician. He's so talented. And we packed the place, and the sound guy like fucked us over. He just didn't show up.
Cool, man.
No, and this is before we really got to know the management and kind of got it like a kind of a I don't know how to say it, but like a good relationship where they wouldn't let my partner touch the sound equipment, even though he's a musician and he knew how to do it. So we literally just had to wait, and the show started so late, and I felt so bad. And then another time we had no mic. So I don't know why I'm talking about the two bad times, but all the other times, there's my husband.
All good times.
All the good times we had, Chad Stewart from Faster Pussycat on the show, and Patrick Hennison from Lita Ford's band, and Genocide, who's the lead singer of Paradise Kitty, which is the Guns N' Roses all-female band. And she sings with everybody. She's so talented. It's insane. And so what the show is that because I worked on the Rock and Roll Roast for Guitar Magazine, I love writing funny stuff for rock stars and watching them get laughs. And it just kind of got me on this roll with that. But I felt like the roasts were mean. And I know a lot of people really had a hard time with it. Like Lita Ford had a really hard time with it. She did not, like once it kind of got going and she saw the reality of kind of the comedians are kind of tough, she did not like it at all. And she actually wanted to leave in the middle of the show. It was like a whole thing. And because I produced her and I wrote for her and I spent all that time with her and talking to her all the time, I felt the way I empathized, and I sort of took on her pain and I felt terrible about it. Like, I'm so glad that it was a few years, but I finally got to talk to her and talk it out with her because she really hated it, and I felt so bad about the experience she had. Huh?
You mean about they were roasting Lita?
She wasn't expecting some of the material to be as harsh as it was. Like, we prepared her. We're like, you're the only girl. They're going to make jokes about, your age, they're all in love with you. They're all still in love with you, Yeah. You're going to say this vagina and that, and it's not going to be bad. But some of the guys, they kind of took a couple digs I thought were a little mean. And, and it wasn't stuff that I'm not going to pass blame or anything, but I feel like, maybe we could have taken that stuff out or whatever, but the comedians are going to do what they want. Like the musicians, we were sort of monitoring their material more. The comedians, no. So, you have Jim Norton on the dais, you have Jim Florentine, like there's going to be some zingers. And
they're going there. Yeah.
Yeah. And, a couple of them hurt her feelings. So it hurt her feelings.
So you couldn't see their material before?
They didn't want us to see it. The comedians didn't, but because I was the head writer for that with the EP, we were the co-head writers. We did go over the material, and some of it was not that bad. You know what I mean? There was some stuff we cut, and then there was some stuff that people were writing on the fly. So it just happened. It's a roast, and it was live, and we didn't. It wasn't edited until later, and until it reran. So everything was there. It was on the table. And really it was like two jokes that hurt her feelings. And one of them wasn't even that bad. It wasn't bad. And, but it's a roast, like I don't want to be in a roast because I'm sensitive. It's going to hurt my feelings. So the way I write roast jokes is I write them point of view, very personal about that person's relationship to the person being roasted, you know what I mean? Like, we met in 1973 and we went to this party one time, and we were in this band together and we spent Christmas together. Like, I write stuff like that. So so it's very, very personal, or it's so ridiculous that it's not going to hurt their feelings. So because of what happened with her, it changed my mind about roasts, how to write for them, how I want, you know, the kind of stuff I want to be a part of, you know, and I still want to be a part of roasts. Just my material is just going to be a little bit different. That's all. And that's okay. Because I think it's great to have all kinds, you know, it's great to have all different kinds of point of view and different voices. So, so anyway, after that happened, I'm like, well, I still want to do this, but you know, the rock and roll roast is my friend Josh's thing, and he's the genius of that. And he created Golden God Awards. He's amazing. Hopefully it's coming back. And that's his thing. So I said, well, yeah, it's the same guy.
That's badass.
Golden Gods. Yeah, he's a badass. Like, he's just like, oh, I'm at lunch with Alice Cooper. I'll call you back. Like, he's just like that cool. So, so anyway,
Courtney Cronin-Dold, Alice.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. And he's also this genius joke writer, which you would never think because he's not a comedian, but he's really, really good. That's Mark Slaughter, and that's Lita. That's Lita Ford. There she is. Oh, yeah.
So there's my buddy next to her. He's in Scrapple.
Oh, okay.
You're cool with her now? You and Lita are cool?
We're cool. We talked it out at the Kiss Expo. I was in tears. She was in tears. Like, it was a whole thing. And it was just, I just felt so bad because I just really respect her so much. And she's such a
I wish I had more
person.
Tonight. We would put her on the phone. We'd get Lita and on the Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, I just literally, like, when I found out that I was going to get to work with her, it was like the most exciting day ever because she's Lita, like, she's the goddess. You know, she's kicked down every single door barrier. Anyone that said no, women can't do it. She's like, watch this, motherfuckers. You know, like, and look how good I look. I look good. Like, she looks good, and she still sounds great. So it was like a dream. And then when that happened, like, that's the reality of the story. That's what happened. I got depressed. I really, like, took it so personally. Even, you know, I just put myself in her shoes. And I felt terrible. I actually got mad at her manager because I talked to him every day. And I was like, she was going through a terrible divorce at the time. And when you're going through something like that, you're extra, extra, extra sensitive. You know, as a woman, I would, you know, I've never been through a divorce, but I've been through some breakups, and I don't want anyone talking shit to me. But
I love it.
That's why I do this stand-up.
Mark is usually on, my buddy Mark that sings with Scrap Metal, on my Saturday night, Stevie D and his Rowdy Friends. He would close out the show. He's in Orlando now. So I'd pitch it to him. And it's funny, the first episode he was on, so he and I jam in the backyard when he's out. We've been friends 30 years. So I grabbed my guitar and we campfire jams. And the first night he was on, I grabbed my little Brazilian drum and I was playing the drum. I didn't know it was like a second delay. So I'm like, boom, bang, bing, bang, fucking the song all up. I thought it sounded good until I heard it back, and then I'm like, well, somebody's off beat. It's not me. Yeah. Oh, it was me. But it's like I didn't. So it's a delay. So I did the show about a couple weeks ago in Ventura, and even then was a little bit off.
That's so Courtney, funny.
What do you got coming up after the quarantine? Got any gigs up? You're gonna resume your lines and back lines?
Yeah, we are. Sorry, and you know what? I never got to the point. The point is that I wanted to write stand-up for rock stars, and they do 5 minutes, and then we talk on the phone or go have lunch or something, and then they tell me about their personal life, and then I craft a set for them based on the conversation that we have, and then they practice it and go over it, and then everybody's done really well. It's Patrick Kennison, Lita's guitar player.
So they do jokes. They do the jokes, and then they play a set.
Then they play a set afterwards, whatever they want.
A lot of people don't know that doing theyese roasts like Comedy Central. I was at the Laugh Factory one night, and Lisa Lampanelli was there, and we're talking, and she was about to roast Pamela Anderson the next night. They'd never even met before.
Yeah.
So she's running jokes by me, and like, so if you're gonna be roasted, you gotta roll with it, you know. It's not gonna be. There's no kind roast. I got roasted once, and someone saying, Stevie D has the biggest fucking head. His head is like it's like a bobblehead. I'm like, really? I didn't realize it was even like that, but okay.
I don't write any jokes about people's physical appearance. I don't do any.
Okay.
None. And I think, I always try to make it ridiculous or personal. because it'll still get a laugh and it's still roasty. It's just the person's going to leave going, oh, that was a good one, instead of fuck you, man. You know, that was messed up. Because after Craig Gass's roast, Craig's one of my best friends, and I oversaw all the material for that because I know if anything was going to hurt his feelings. And I was shocked at the one joke that he was not a fan of. And it was a joke one of the comedians in Hawaii did. He was like, that one really bothered me. And I was like, that one? You know, it was like not that bad. You never know what's gonna hurt someone's feelings. So, you know, or bother them. You know, I mean, whatever.
Do you do the Kiss cruise with Craig? The Kiss cruise? Mm-hmm.
I opened
for that?
Craig, and then we go to the Kiss Expos, and I work for him there, and that's why I get to see all that cool stuff and meet all these amazing, fun people, and it's really fun.
That's why we were at that badass the Kiss concert right before the quarantine.
I know. Can you imagine? I can't believe we didn't get sick. I was in the middle on the floor, and I was like smashed up against people, and it was like, it was a good show. You were
posting, I'm like, Courtney's here. Where the hell is she? And she's like, I'm in the front. I'm like, oh. You know, it's funny. I was actually in Dr. Dre's seats. And for some reason, Dr. Dre's nephew and my son are best friends. So
really?
When they want to go to the show, they're like, hey, man, do you want to go to see Kiss? I'm like, what? Are you crazy? I love Kiss. And I saw them so many times, but that was a badass show. I'm like, I can't believe Dr. Dre didn't want to see Kiss.
I know. I'm surprised. And Paul Stanley put on Kobe's jersey and dedicated the show to him because they had just passed away. They had just been killed like 2 weeks before.
And it happened right across from my son's school.
Oh.
So every day these kids would see the helicopter lowering and picking up debris, knowing what that was. It was sick. On a light note, we have a special guest tonight.
Who? Oh, Rainey?
Rainey? Whoa.
Sorry. I'm so stupid. Over here. Who
is it? Who can it be?
Stupid. Okay, so let me put this down so you can see Rainey. Okay, Rainey, come over here. Okay, can you sit? Good boy. Okay, you want to do some push-ups? Get down. And then up. And then down. And then up. Good boy. He's going to do some... Okay, and then... Here's his favorite one. Rainey, come here. Can you do a trick, please? Can you go down? Oh, he's doing it, but you can't see him. Back up, down here. Lay down. Make a sad face. Sad face. Sad face. Good boy.
Aww.
Good boy. Okay, now up. Rainey, give me 5. On the side. Up high. Down low. Nice. Too slow. Too slow. That's what I do all day. That's what I do all day.
I'm glad Rainey's healthy.
Yes. Can you wave to
Rainey?
Yes. Good boy.
Rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking words, rock star, Courtney.
Yes.
Well, Courtney Cronin, we love you. Where can people find you?
At Courtney Cronin-Dold on Facebook, and I just deleted my Twitter because I can't. And my Facebook, and then I've got Instagram, Court Crow-Dold. Lots of fun videos of Rainey and wine. I like wine.
We love Rainey. Rainey, thank you for making an appearance. I couldn't afford you, so thanks for just making a little cameo there, Rainey. I'll send you some kibbles and bits.
Yeah.
Some treats. Come on, get happy. All right, y'all, this next guy, I think he's going to hold the record after the night. His 3rd appearance.
Yes.
Stevie D and his rowdy-ass friends, live from the Double Wide on Saturday nights. Tonight's our very first night on Zoom and YouTube. We're getting fancy now. This guy is a producer, podcaster, BMX legend, hot ride designer, and mixologist. And I think he's got a special quarantini ready for us tonight. Give it up, y'all, for my man, legend, Brad Fanshaw.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on again. I'm getting used to this, Stevie. It's making this quarantine all worth it. So now this is happy hour now, right?
What's that?
This is happy hour now, right?
It's happy hour. Yes, it's happy hour. And I thought, who better to have on? Because you make these intricate. You're like, let's go get a fig and just shave the rind and then dust sprinkles. Look at that drink, bro. So is this the official drink of the first night?
This is it, man. We're calling this a midsummer refresher Or you can just call it sun because it's going to sneak up and numb you. Sneak up numb. Because this sucker, brother, this is, now wait, now I'm going to put up the, you'll be able to find the whole recipe if somebody wants to make it themselves on my Instagram page. And I'll put it on my Twitter. But what you basically do is you take a berry. I took strawberries. You muddle it with some ice in a shaker along with some mint and some lime juice. Then what we do is, here's where it gets good. We're going to add some cognac. Then we're going to add some vodka. I use good cognac. I use some Hennessy. And you shake it vigorously with some ice. You strain it out. You pour it over what I call a large rock. You just get one of them big old ice cubes, a large rock, because that just gets it nice and cold, doesn't get in your way. But then we're going to top it. We're going to top off that cognac. We're going to top off that vodka, the berries, the mint, with some ginger beer to give it a little effervescence.
Ooh.
And then we're going to garnish it with a strawberry and a sprig of mint. And then you know what you do? The best part right here.
Woo! You call it sun?
That is good. Midsummer refresher. We're going to call it the sun because it's going to sneak up and numb because it goes so smooth, but all that booze just gets in your system.
Well, that's, where can we find the recipe?
I'm going to put it on Bradley_Fanshaw on Instagram and on Brad Fanshaw on Twitter. Go there. I'll give you the recipe and how to do it.
You know, my drinks are pretty fancy too, Brad. What I did is I went to Trader Joe's. And then you go in the alcohol section and you look for the vodka that's on sale. And this week it was Sky Vodka. So I'm like $9.99 for a bottle. All right, I'm in. I'm all in. So then I come home and I go to my kitchen. I get 3 cubes of ice, not 4. I don't want it watered down 3. Then I look at my refrigerator and I go, what can go perfectly with Sky Vodka? And there was a half a bottle of vitamin water. And so then the vitamin water goes in and I call it the Hillbilly Special tonight. That's what it's called.
Hey, whatever works, okay? I thought you were going to tell me you went to the refrigerator, got a Pabst Blue Ribbon, went, and you were done.
I said, the hell with the vodka.
Yeah.
How does Pabst get in here? PBR is the best.
That's right. And
I can't even drink PBR anymore because now it's like a hipster beer.
That's true. But the great thing about beer is that it pays you back because when you got that trash can full of aluminum cans, you just go down to the recycler and get some money back and you can buy some more beer.
You go to the one right outside. I did that with my kids once. We saved cans for like 2 months. I said, I'm going to teach them a little lesson because when I was a kid, I had a paper route, get out and bust my ass, slinging those papers. I'm like, they need to earn their life. Here's how you get a hustle, kids. So the hustle was daddy saving the cans, loading them in my car, standing in line with crackheads, selling their cans outside of Ralph's in the parking lot. You got to put each can or bottle individually in this little slot. And then after all that work, they got like $3.24 on a receipt that you validate that you can cash in at Ralph's.
And wait in line again, right?
Just sweep the floor and pick up your clothes, and I'll give you $3.24. How about that?
I remember as a kid when the big glass bottles, they were worth a nickel or a dime or whatever, and we'd go looking for those things and take them to the grocery store, and that was what it was. It was, but
it was like 10 cents.
10 cents for the big ones,
The big ones, and the 5 cents for the regular, right?
Yep.
And I would go tap the cashier. And I grew up in Owensboro, Kentucky, which you probably know. I was from Kentucky, but the cashier
heard that before.
IGA, you knew that, buddy. I only told you 82 times. But the cashier was Daryl and Mike Waltrip's mom.
Oh, really?
So I'd go tap her and go, Miss Waltrip, I got 22 bottles today. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm rich. And I'd go buy some grips for my little BMX or some pedals,
Yeah, definitely. Or I wouldn't make it that far, Stevie. I would take my 50 cents or 75 cents and I'd meander over to the candy and get a bunch of candy and then, sit around just, jonesing out on my candy.
Some good bubble yum, something like that. That was like crack to kids. Like, I got the good shit. I got the good shit. Not that double bubble shit. I got the bubble yum.
It's crazy. I was in the candy section one day not too long ago, and I guess I haven't bought candy in a long time. What the hell is with candy bars $3? I mean, kids got to make a lot of money. They got to make a lot of allowance just to pay for the candy anymore.
That's half their allowance right there. So, brother, speaking of BMX, you're a BMX legend, brother.
Hey,
I don't know what this is.
Scott.
This is like a tandem BMX race.
Called the side hack, and that's me in the hack, which was called the monkey. If you were in the side, you weren't riding the bike, you were in the hack, you were the monkey. And so when you come around turns, the monkey has to lean the opposite way so that nothing happens, so the bike doesn't spill over. And on the flats, the monkey has to get out and push. So, yeah. But it was good times. Now, the reason we've got big air there in a hack, which doesn't usually happen, is because that was in San Diego at a place called Rancho San Diego, and it was about a half mile. Well, no, it's a little over a quarter mile, but it was down the side of a mountain, and you came through these huge berms all the way down, and then you came around the last one into a straightaway with a big, tabletop. And you could get some big air on that sucker.
That's nice. You just posted a picture the other day. I'd saved it somewhere. Someone posted and you were like getting major air, man. You and some other dude was just like, but you were in all the little BMX magazines as a kid. You were a stud.
Well, you know what? It was the early days of BMX. It was fun. We used to go on summer tour, and I raced pro. But I was never like the top guy. I was always down in the ranks, but I had a lot of fun, and I was like rated in the top 10, top 15, but I was never like in the very top, the famous dudes that were out there. But then I went on to run the organization that put them on, called the American Bicycle Association. I was the vice president over there. And
I didn't know that. How did I know that?
Yeah, that was good times. It's what I did coming out of college.
3 shows to get deep into your BMX career.
That's right. It's crazy though. BMX is one of those sports, dude. BMX is one of those sports where so many kids raced it that if I go in to pitch a TV show or I'm on set or at a concert or something, it's crazy because somebody will go, dude, you're the guy from ABA, or you used to race, and I've had guys like come up to me and go, 6'5", and they're looking down at me, they're going, hey man, you're Mr. Fanshaw. I was a racer. I was, and they were just little kids, and they thought, ooh, he was the big cheese, So it was fun. It has helped in business because a lot of guys dug BMX and gives you something to talk about to a lot of people.
Then the movies came out like Rad and all those movies, and that was so cool. I mean, I grew up just wanting to come out here. I'd read the magazines and see you guys in the magazines and build my little bike. And my bike back then was like my Escalade. That was my shit, Yep. One week I'd buy grips, 1 week would be pedals. That was my, if you ever seen Citizen Kane, that was my Rosebud, a bike.
Rosebud. So
you got to hustle for that. Then you got into the hot rod world.
Hot rods are good. They were good. I was always a hot rodder, man. I mean, what kid doesn't want to, have a fast car or a cool car? And, guys, girls, they all, everybody likes a cool car. And I was just lucky enough to take my passion for cars and team up with my former business partner, Boyd Coddington. And a lot of people saw him on TV on American Hot Rod. That's him standing with me. on one of our cars that won the most popular award in the world. And Boyd, and you know, a lot of people heard Chip Foose. Well, Chip Foose, I hired him. He worked for me there. He's actually behind us in that photo. And Jesse James worked for us. So it was a golden time, man. We built some of the most iconic cars in the hot rod and custom and show car world. We did things like, you know, the Dodge Viper? We did the prototypes of the Viper at our shop and built builds. Yeah, we did some of the work on it. Most of it was done at a place called Metal Crafters, but we did some work and we did all the wheels and did a lot of cool stuff, man. Jay Leno used to roll by our shop all the time. You know, the guys from ZZ Top, the guys from Van Halen. We built cars for Eddie and Michael. And then there were just all kinds of famous people that rolled through there, you know, Tim Allen, because cars, music, Hollywood, they all go together, man.
Hollywood, rock stars, hot rods. Now, James Hetfield even has an exhibit in Peterson's, right?
Yes. James is a huge gearhead. And he not only has an exhibit, he donated 10 of his most iconic cars to the museum. And
he donated or wrong?
He donated them.
What?
Yep.
He didn't donate one to me.
I know, man. You could have been driving that thing.
Oh, man, come on, bro. You partnered up with Michael Anthony, of course, is your partner, and Bond Speed Wheels. He's your partner in the wheel company, right?
We own Bond Speed Wheels and Bond Speed Watches together, our Swiss watchmaking company. And Mikey's just a great guy. You know, he's one of those guys that is just so genuine and so cool. Any of his fans who love him because of that, I'm going to tell you, he's that real guy every day of his life. He's a great guy and a great friend. And, you know, we've been buddies for a long time. We take our fast boats out together. We enjoy watches together. We enjoy hot rods together. And we get together all the time. We, you know, go out on the boat together. We go out, barbecue, and, you know, it's good times.
I know I live vicariously through you guys. I was just down Dana Point last week. I told you we didn't get to hook up, but people have boats and American flags. I'm like, what country? I mean, like, this is amazing down here. People are like patriotic and you love it, you know, have a good time, work hard, play hard. You see hot rods and boats. I'm like, shit, that's the life right there, bro.
Man, Orange County, it's almost like there's this line in the sand, and it's just so different down here, you know? I mean, I come up to work up in LA all the time, but I love Orange County. I love the room. I love the space, and I love, you know, the people and what you said. You see all these great cars and the boats, and we've got everything you could want here. And, you know, I don't know. It's a golden life in Orange County.
So I love that you're like me, like our brain never stops probably, but you have 97 projects going.
Yeah.
You have 2 different podcasts.
What's that?
You have Shift Steer Media. And
our podcast? Yeah, we have Shift and Steer, and then I have Man Seeks Adventure. The difference is Shift and Steer is hardcore cars. We do everything from Formula One, IndyCar, all the way to hot rods or just crazy rat rods and stuff. Where Man Seeks Adventure is more lifestyle. It's cars, bars, eats, and adventures. And we have people on there from, you know, food. We have chefs. We have. What's that? Oh, hey, Stevie D. Yeah, Stevie D. That's right. We went to the club one night. We sat in the green room, and we just sat there and interviewed you and all the other guys and the gals, and it was blast, man. We got to do that again. But no, it's about giving people. Man Seeks Adventure is about giving little bits of advice and tidbits, you know?
You go to bars, you have a special drink for each episode also, don't you?
Oh, hell yeah. We theme the drink to the episode, to the guest or to where we went. And we've gone out and we've tried to find the best breakfast burrito in Orange County. And let me tell you, man, that's a tough task because when you got to go eat a whole bunch of breakfast burritos, somebody's got to do it.
Good hangover food.
Yeah.
You and I got a little cooking thing we're working on. I hope that pans out. Some rock stars and
got to get through this damn pandemic. I'm sorry?
I just had Heather on a couple of weeks ago. She was on that road trip. She took her Mustang.
Yes. She went to Texas. She came back from South America, and Heather Storm, my co-host on Man Seeks Adventure, and she we've done a lot of other projects together, but she went down to Costa Rica, and she got stuck down there during the pandemic. So she came back. Her car was stored at a friend's. She jumped in her car after your show, went to Texas, and is staying with her aunt down there, and trying to make the best of getting through all of this, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I think didn't her transmission go out or something in Corpus Christi or something?
Well, she'd already made her destination. She went on a day trip to go explore a little around where she was going to be living. And she had that old transmission give up, and she got stranded.
Dude, I love classic cars. I've got a 78 Trans Am, and I would not drive it to Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't even drive it to
No way.
Corpus Christi, Orange County. I'd go like 40 miles. I'm like, okay, all right, we're good. Let's head back to the garage. But what's the longest road trip you've ever taken in a hot rod?
The longest road trip I've ever done in a hot rod? Well, I've taken some pretty long ones in some of the cars we've built. There used to be a thing called AmeriCruise. And it was like groups of guys in every city. You got more, and you'd all be on your way to a destination. I've driven from here to Lincoln, Nebraska before. But it's.
What were you in?
In that one, I was in a 33 Ford 3-window. And
wow, okay.
I've also driven, Shizoom, the famous Shizoom car, through downtown Tokyo, which, let me tell you, you want to feel like a rock star? Downtown Tokyo is just jam-packed, and there's all these huge boards, like Times Square, dude. I got everybody to stop in their tracks in that car. It came rolling down through the main area, and I had a video crew in a VW bus with one of those rollback roofs, and the video camera's up through the top of there, and I'm rolling through downtown Tokyo in that thing, and it was just so cool. It was so cool. People are just like they didn't know what it was. It's a Shizoom.
Shizoom?
Shizoom, Chezzoom. And it started life as a 57 Chevy, but it doesn't look like any 57 you've ever seen. It's one of the coolest cars ever.
Did you build it?
We built it at Boyd's.
Did you help design it?
No, I did not have anything to do with the. I helped come up with the name of it, and our shop built it, but it was designed by somebody else. Yeah. And we flew it to Japan for a show. I'm sorry?
They have some wacky cars there.
Oh, yes, they do. And hardcore people.
Yeah. It's crazy all these different countries that have different influences of cars, what they take and then what they incorporate their own style and influences into it.
Well, in some of the Middle Eastern countries where they really don't have, the economic position to ever have a really crazy car, or, it's crazy. There'll be these princes that have 30 of something, but the average guy can't get anything. So they figure out other things to do. And one of the craziest things, I actually pitched a TV show about different things people do with cars around the world. But in my research, in the Middle East, they do two things that are just nuts. One is called high-speed spin-outs, where they go out into the desert. They get going like 120, 130, and then just throw the car into a spin. and whoever can spin the most 360s down the highway without leaving the road or flipping over wins. Well, what happens, Stevie? Most of the cars flip or go off the road and go off into the desert. It's just nuts. The other thing they do is called sidewall surfing. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay. They get the cars or the trucks up on two wheels, like in the movies, right?
Yeah.
And they drive them. And when it first started out, it was who could drive them the farthest. And so without thing coming down. Well, I'm researching this for the show, and I'm going, well, where did they learn to do this? You know where they learned to do it? From watching the 1980s TV shows like Fall Guy, Dukes of Hazzard. They just watched it and figured out how to do it and started perfecting it. Now they do things like get a Land Rover or the Toyota Land Cruiser, up on two wheels out in the middle of the desert going down the highway at 80. The guys get out and swap the front tire and put it on the rear and the rear tire on the without dropping down. These guys are out there doing the wheels and tires. It's nuts. You got to look it up on the internet. And you think that's what these guys do.
Stocking bombs before they do that.
Yeah, I doubt that. But no, there's crazy things that people do. And Japan does have some of the craziest. You know, they've got their over-decorated cars and all kinds of stuff.
What's the craziest or most elaborate car you built?
Probably would be my, it's a Ford truck that I did. Ford came to me when the brand new body style first came out. I saw you take a drink. I got to take one.
You're a rock star. The drinking word tonight is rock star.
Yes. And
I haven't said it enough.
They came out with this new body style, and they approached me, and they said, hey, Brad, could you build a one-off truck? We could debut it at SEMA. And I'd done this for them before with a Thunderbird and a Mustang. I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to. So they said, well, why don't you come up with a theme? And I'm like, okay, I'll come up with a theme. So I came up with it as a Gothic-inspired, like, superhero, okay, and so I named it the Bond Speed Banshee. And I went to Ford and I said, okay, you want this thing to be badass? I will make it badass. But what I need is the same year you're introducing this new pickup, you're coming out with the Ford GT supercar. I said, so why don't you send me a drivetrain out of a Ford GT and I'll put it in the truck? And they said, well, that's impossible.
What are you smoking, Brad?
They go into all this technicalities of how the chassis talks to the dash, and the dash in the other car, the dash talks to the chassis, and the wiring's different. I said, don't worry about it. We'll make it happen. So I get a Roush-prepared GT motor and 6-speed transmission delivered to my shop, and I get a brand new Ford F-150 delivered to my shop. The thing is they said, you have 45 days to get this done. And I love a challenge. So we did it. And we successfully put the motor in trans. Now, these trucks never came with manual transmissions. So we had to create the clutch pedals. We had to create everything. Plus, we cut the truck in half and put a independent rear suspension out of a Lincoln Navigator, redid the whole rear chassis. We touched every part of this truck. There was nothing on it. We clayed up the front and rear nose. We welded up everything. We smoothed it. We painted it. I did a leather interior that it was a 2-door pickup truck, and it had 8 leather hides. We covered the dash, the headliner. We made matching luggage, and we put a $30,000 stereo in it. And this thing was awesome. And took it to SEMA, and everybody just were blown away. And it went for 2 years with Ford on the show car circuit. Came back. I had it about 6 months, and I sold it at Barrett-Jackson. And it went to a guy. Pardon me?
They gave that truck back to you?
Yeah, I got it back. And I bought it for $1. And
you had to buy it for $1? like the Batmobile.
Yeah. And I took it back to Bear Jackson and I sold it one year along with 6 of my other cars. And the guy who bought it calls me up while I'm still at Bear Jackson and he says, hey man, I'm going to drive this to my house in Palm Springs. So anything I need to know? And I said, Gary, I wouldn't drive it. And he goes, what, something wrong with it? And I go, no, it's perfectly fine, but I've never driven it any farther than 120 miles. And I said, I don't know how far it'll go on a tank of gas because we fabricated the gas tank out of aluminum, you know? And the only way to find out is to drive the damn thing or be a mathematician that can go, well, the mass volume of the, and that's not me, okay? And I get a call on Monday morning and my girl goes, hey, Gary Cassidy, the guy who bought the truck, he's on the phone. And I'm like, oh no, he's stuck in the desert. The thing burned to the ground. I'm thinking all the worst things. And he goes, dude, I drove across the desert at 120 miles an hour, had that $30,000 stereo blaring. And he goes, that thing is just badass. The supercharger was screaming. And he goes, and I go, well, what about the gas? And he goes, I just stopped at every gas station. Every time I saw one, I filled it up.
Every gas station.
And he goes, it never overheated, never did anything. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end in a good note because Gary is a big time car collector and he got a huge building built up in Canada. His winter home was Palm Springs. He shipped it up to Canada and had it up there with about 35 other cars. He built this beautiful building, put a big fence around it, but he built it too secure. It caught on fire, the building did, and the fire department couldn't get in because it was a secure building, and every car burnt to the ground, including the F-150 super truck. And so it's gone forever. It's only in photos and memories.
What sort of policy did he take out right before the fire? I'm just curious.
Exactly, yeah. Now, he had all kinds of really killer cars. He called me, and I'm not talking out of school. This guy was in tears. He goes, Brad, that truck was the best car in my collection. And he goes, I had that one, and he had also bought a 66 Chevelle from Mikey and I. And he goes, those two, they were my prizes. I can't replace them. He goes, I can go buy another 69 Camaro. I can go. He goes, but that one, it's gone, man. I go, yep. So,
what was the name of the truck? Can we find it on we
if
Google
you put
the
in
truck?
Bun Speed F-150, you'll be able to find it. And it's a deep eggplant color with even the powder coat on the truck, the wheels, we had it created from scratch, and it's called New Penny. And now you can buy the powder coat. I took him a brand new shiny penny and said, that's what I want the powder coat to look like.
That's badass. Buddy, I could talk to you forever because we didn't get to, the Rockstar stories, and you want to plug one of your podcasts coming up? I know you got a new guest host. Is that still working out?
Yeah, when he's available. Billy F. Gibbons is our guest host on Man Seeks Adventure, but he has
a band called Using Some Banner.
And ZZ Top, that's right. And but he's been out in Joshua Tree in a recording studio out there with, I don't think I can say who it is, but he is laying down a new album with some guys, and it's going to be badass. In fact, he invited me the other night to come out to Joshua Tree with him and hang out with some pretty stellar musicians. And
I'm going to pencil that in. What night are we going to Joshua Tree?
That's right, yes. And, I mean, it sounds like one of those great experiences because under the stars, out at Joshua Tree, with these guys hanging out, talking music and listening to what they're laying down, it'll be fun.
Joshua Tree is magical. So many, from Graham Parsons, and so many. I learned the Eagles' "Peaceful, Easy Feeling." I want to lay with you in the desert with the stars, and just it's magical out there. It's just amazing. So just let me know when we're going so I can pencil it in.
I will let you because you'll have to put it around your recording of the happy hour, right?
Absolutely, buddy. This is locked in stone.
We got time for one quick rock star story or not?
Well, always, but first of all, you said rock star. That's the drinking word.
There we go. All right, you always like them. And here's the deal. So and I hope I haven't told you this one before, but do you remember the China Club?
Whole new show.
Remember the China Club?
Yes.
In LA.
Hollywood.
The China
You know who was the
Club.
bartender there?
Pardon me?
You know who was the bartender? Cher's boyfriend, the Bagel Boy.
What? Okay. Hey, Stevie, let's call it quits. I got an emergency.
Okay.
It's
Brad,
serious. I gotta go.
We're gonna look you up on Nancy's Adventure.
Okay.
We're gonna have you on
I
again.
gotta
We're
go.
gonna story.
I gotta go. Take it easy.
Okay. All right, Brad. Love you, buddy.
Come on, get happy.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the very, very first show on YouTube. I hope you spread the word that every Wednesday night we're getting happy. Turn off your news. Do a couple hair flips. And I'm going to take it out with my producer I talk about every week. She did all of my production. There's John Reap and I. Sketch was on the red carpet right there, right after he won America's Got Talent, I think it was. And she's an amazing DJ all the way from up in Canada. Sketch. Judi Lewinson, take us out with something here. Thanks for watching, everybody.
The chills that you spill my back leave me filled with satisfaction when we're done. Satisfaction of what's to come. I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another. Your groove, I do deeply dig. No walls, only the bridge. My supper dish, my crocketesh wish. Sing it, baby. I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another.
Crossing these moments like tic-tac-toe. Let's ride, let's go. Get loose, get crunk, get drunk, get blowed. That's right, let's roll. M-I-A-A-T-L for show. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world. Come on! Shake, 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 baby.
You're in the mix with Judi Lynn.
Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I run.